Hello and welcome to a very special edition of our podcast today. Whether you're tuning in during your morning commute or winding down after a long day, we are grateful to have you with us. Today's episode isn't just a conversation, it's a reflection, a tribute, a reminder that the most powerful impact comes not from what you gain, but from what you choose to give. In most places, teaching is a profession, but here at SurePro Ed, it's also a gift. The people we are about to introduce didn't step in for a salary or a certificate. They showed up because they cared.
Yes, Anand, they have cared and they give their evenings, their weekends, their time and their energy. These are not just our volunteer trainers, they're working professionals and mentors who didn't have to do this, but they did. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. They believed in the learners and moreover they believed in the mission. And they believe that helping someone is always well time spent.
I completely agree, Abhiram. Now that we've spoken about the spirit of volunteerism, it's time to meet the people who lived it. People from different corners of India, bound by one purpose, to give their time and talent, not for a paycheck, but for a purpose. From professionals at TCS, Propel and Micron, to those who have walked the same path as our students. Let's meet Ms. Akshara, Mr. Arnav Sahni, Mr. Tarun Joseph, Mr. Shanmukh Sai Prakash, the generous hearts that help shape SurePro Ed.
So let me begin introducing each of our panelists today one by one. So first we have Mr. Shanmukh Sai Prakash sir, who is a senior data engineer at Micron, working closely with AI and smart manufacturing. And at SurePro Ed, he teaches data science to our students. He doesn't just build solutions. He mentors students to think like problem solvers. It's so pleasure to have you today with us, sir.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
And next up, we have Miss Akshara ma'am, who teaches digital marketing. She started her journey at TechQuest and now works with Propel Technology Group. And she has joined SurePro Ed to Tata Pro's Engage program. And what's inspiring is that even after leaving Tata Pro's Engage program, she's been associated with SurePro Trust. And she does not bring not just knowledge, but also her experience and a lot of encouragement to the classroom. Welcome, Akshara ma'am. We're happy to have you here today with us.
Thank you so much.
And next up, we have Mr. Tarun Joseph, sir, a machine learning and generative AI specialist who works at TCS. And here at SurePro Ed, he teaches to our students Python and machine learning. Glad to have you today with us, sir.
Thank you, but I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, sir. And at last, we have Mr. Arnav Sahni. From Jaguar Land Rover to telecom platforms like TCS, and now contributing to public sector tech. His journey blends electronics and software testing to make real-world impact. He reminds students that learning never stops, and reliability is a strength. Welcome, Arnav Sahni, sir. Thrilled to have you with us today.
Thanks a lot for having me. I am hopeful I'll be able to contribute well into the future as well. So I'm happy that we are able to have this conversation and we are meeting for the first time also, and hopefully we'll be meeting again and again to discuss things and hopefully keep the conversation and the spirit of show trust as well as Tata Pro Engage going and going. Thank you.
So without any further ado, let's start our podcast.
Yeah, so let's not start with what you do. Let's start with why. We'd love to rewind a bit and go back to the beginning of this journey. So, Akshara ma'am, I would like to ask you this question. Could you tell us how you first learned at SurePro Ed? What was your initial reaction to the concept of preparing students for industry at no cost? Were there any initial hesitations or doubts on this concept which you had?
Honestly, this wasn't the first framework that I'm being associated with. So when I was a student, I think back in my UG days, a similar platform was there, like it is Nanjal Anand Foundation. So where I used to train students a lot. The only difference that I see with SureTrust is here it is more disciplined and structured. But back then when I was with NF, I was so young. Even I personally wasn't so disciplined maybe. And I was not into those structured curriculum. But here, I think that setting alone is different. Apart from that, I didn't have any hesitation. But yes, when I started, I was an intern. So I wasn't a full-time employee at all. So that was the only hesitation I had. So how can an intern teach something And I got into in the motive of become teaching full stack development or Python development. But then I think at that point in time, there wasn't any opportunity for me to start with development. I am a software developer. I was thinking like, what should I do? I wanted to be a part of this because I really love the motive of teaching people, teaching students who are in need, basically. So we had multiple sessions of call with Radha Kumari ma'am. Then we thought maybe why shouldn't I give a try with digital marketing, because I know a little bit of digital marketing. I had a passion with it. Sometimes like I worked with a few NGOs in digital marketing. That's why I said yes, and that's how this journey started. No hesitation, but maybe a bit of confusion because I was a fresher. I was an intern, basically, not a full-time employee. That's the only concern I had back then.
We are so very glad that you took that leap and joined Shore Provide, ma'am.
Yes,
We are so happy that you have joined Shore Provide.
yes. One such decision I never regret is joining Share Trust.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So moving on to our next guest. So, Arnav sir, we are curious, like what got you in? Like what motivated you to take on this teaching mentoring role?
So in that teaching mentoring role, I had previously had little experience in the professional domain to teach and mentor people, but this was a fantastic opportunity. Tata Pro Engage highlighted the plights of children and those who were less fortunate than us. So I was moved by it. I thought if I have time and energy in my youth, so I can empower the youth as well for that and also empower myself. And I was empowered in that way, that I also learned a lot from the students, and they learned hopefully, and hopefully later on when they see the progress they have made and that they're also contributing to society in general, as well as being responsible members of the country as well. And my main goal to contribute was also to observe that there is a lot of disconnect in the industry and with the academics involved, because what is being taught in academics is okay, slightly outdated but good, but there is strong difference that in the industry we observe so many different fields which are not even talked about in colleges. So one of them was software testing, and I thought maybe if I did not know but I could learn software testing and I could apply it, other people could, and younger people too, and some of them were not aware of even Excel or Salesforce, which were the platforms I utilized mostly, and also Jira. So the good thing about them was that they are American technologies, and to some extent they are free. At least now you are using Google also. That also is free. Not free in that sense of less money or zero money, but free as in freedom also, which was the philosophy of open source software such as Linux. So that was the motive also, that we are reliant on American generosity, and we are able to benefit Indians also. My main goal is that we are able to take Shore Trust international, where international rural students also are able to benefit. So thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. We will make Shore Provide international, and we will spread across the whole world.
Yes, sir. I completely agree with whatever you said, and how you feel that this is a give and take journey where you would not only teach students, but you also get something back and you've learned something from the students as well. So it would be right to say that you weren't just teaching, you were also shaping experiences. And we know classrooms can be unpredictable, and often the most beautiful moments are the unexpected ones. And I believe that Abhiram has a question regarding the same we were discussing about earlier.
Yes. So, yeah. So, Tarun sir, like, do you have any memorable stories like from your sessions? Like maybe something funny, or that really stayed with you for a long time? Any such moment?
Uh, yes, of course. So one such moment which I can easily recollect is see when I first started my batch, there was a huge there were around 50 plus number of students who joined in, because it's a popular program, because you can, when you hear this classes on data science and machine learning, a lot of candidates, like, they want to try to step in and see if it's fit for. and whole lot of them ended up dropping out from the batch as the classes progressed. And when we got to a fixed number, I think after the first 1.5 weeks, they became we got used to a fixed number of people seeing them regularly in classes. Around 10 to 15 people try to maintain the regular every day at the same time. So this batch was taken by me and one other senior trainer. He joined. He was the one handling the theory sessions, and me with him was helping. We used to take alternatively the theory and practical. And what I'm trying to get into is that when in my sessions, especially the practical sessions, I tried to bring forth a culture of interactions. Like you can't handle the sessions, especially learn Python without having the interactions with the trainer, right? So I can't just go about giving them a problem to solve and they just give them some time to solve it and expect them to come back with the right solution, using all the test cases. So that's not something which I had in the back of my mind when going through this training. So what I did then, what I continuously forced or made them comfortable in my classes were that they should be more interactive with me. They have this space where they are free from judgment. Their fellow colleagues, classmates are not going to judge them about how they are talking or how they're interacting, even if the doubts they're asking are not connected with the topic, or if they're not going to be put on the table, right? So that was an environment which I tried to build from the first day itself. It's a time, but I could see that day by day people started interacting with me and they started asking their doubts without any hesitation. So towards the end of 4 months, so this was a 4 month journey which I started up, and towards the end of, I believe, the last few weeks ago, I could see that most of them were comfortable in having that interaction with me as well as with the other trainers. So this was a core memory for me, which I believe that it's going to stay with them. That confidence which they build using their own hard work and persistence, it's going to stay with them, and it's a happy memory which I'll keep record.
Yes, sir. I genuinely relate with you. And to me, a good teacher or a good trainer is not only the one who is clear with their concepts, it's someone who knows what exactly the student needs. And sometimes, what students in engineering or from any other domain at this age group, they need some sort of interaction and they need to have a personal connection with their teacher, is what I strongly believe in. Right. So yeah, I completely appreciate the sort of environment you created for your students. We can say that we often, think that our trainers change our lives. But, let's flip that for a moment and let's zoom out a bit, maybe beyond the class, beyond the curriculum. So I would like to ask Shanmukh sir, that teaching requires a great deal of patience and empathy.
Yeah,
Have you found that the way you guide people here has carried over into other parts of your life?
to be very frank, yes. See, one thing I face on day-to-day basis are the stakeholders who have zero knowledge on what you're working on. At the end of the day, what they want is result. So when teaching students, right, to be very frank, my first batch, when I started my first batch in DS with Should Trust, there were no separate courses in BTech like this is your DS branch, this is artificial. You didn't have. There was only CSC, there was IT. Those were the only branches. These branches came up recently. So when I started that, right, it was kind of new for them as well. And I had students who were not from the same background, not from CSC IT. There were people from civil, mechanical who are again third years, fourth years who had no idea on what data science is and what they are actually getting into. But the buzz over there made them come into that. So helping them understand what I wanted to say in a layman terms, that is what I could say that helped me the most. Because moving that into my professional career, I had to do the same. Because more often than not, I always get questions from the stakeholders like, why are you doing this? How is this working? How can I get something like this? So, which if you are unable to make them understand, they won't be approving of it. They might not know your technology completely, but they would not be too approving also, unless and until you explain them what's going in the background. Like you are predicting something. How is this prediction being made? So that thing is one thing that helped me a lot. And second thing is patience. To be very frank with the people, this I'm encountering very recently. Like the recent graduates who joined, they are more kind of their the way they behave or the way they think is totally different from what I think. Like how I was back in my days. So the way of thinking changed. So teaching here is giving me a flavor of what I'm getting into right now. Like because I get the students from this batch itself into my company as well. So that kind of also is kind of helping me adapt and to be flexible to the changing environment or changing scenarios out there. So that yeah, this experience, like surely I can say, helped me go one notch up to where I was before joining Shoot Rescues.
Yes, sir. I completely agree with you. So if the basics are properly understood for the students only, then only they can excel in their careers. And I think the complex concepts you are able to simplify and teach to our students is a great gift to our students only. So now I would like to ask a common question to all of the panelists. So beyond the technical skills you came to teach here at Shore Provide, what was that one unexpected or lesson the students have taught you? So let's start with you, Akshara ma'am.
Patience. I'm a highly impatient person. Patience is something that I learned it here. Considering my age when I started everything, I think maybe I'm young. So patience is something that I learned a lot. And the second thing is leadership. So why would I say that is maybe now I have 1 year of full-time experience as a software developer. So even though I'm not a senior, still I'm not a senior, I'm still a junior developer. But still, when a fresher comes to me, they don't hesitate. They don't feel judged. They are more than happy to take help from me. So they don't feel judged or they don't feel helpless. So I think that quality I learned it from Shortress. So I'm grateful for that, basically. Yeah.
So what about you, Arnav sir?
Thing that students have taught me is that most of them come from similar backgrounds of having no experience whatsoever in the field that I'm teaching. So it's usually a great starting point where I'm able to introduce my company, Shore Provide, also to some extent. And when many students I observed that didn't even know that there is live training session also. And asking why didn't you know, they say they are not in the group. So it's not to highlight some sort of negativity, but more in the way that all the students who come to me, they have little idea, and I try to help them out in that way. And what I learned most from them is that initially they have a lot of fear and apprehension about asking questions. So to get them to open up takes 1 or 2 weeks almost. And to go through that process, I had to incorporate with more vigor, more follow-ups, not only using the traditional Google Meets, but also using Salesforce Jira as well as WhatsApp pollings as well. So to be proactive, that one quality, to have multiple discussions and encouraging all stakeholders to voice their opinions. So there is always a consensus. To take that into account, that has been a go-through thing which I have now started incorporating more and more in my professional workspace. My laptop got wrecked a little bit. The charger got damaged, or the laptop there is having some problems. So before even raising an issue, I informed everyone that this is what has happened, and I didn't take it upon myself. I raised it more as an issue that if one person is suffering, everyone is suffering. So that community spirit, and in that kind of a regard of a honesty of sorts, where no one gets left behind. So that kind of an attitude, which now I have incorporated in workspace as well, to keep all stakeholders together. So this is something that Show Trust, and more specifically the younger students, have taught me to be together, be cohesive, and to find solutions to practical methods. Thank you.
Yes, sir. when learning becomes interactive only, the everything becomes so interactive and everyone can gain so much from this. So moving on to Shanmukh Sai sir, like what's your opinion on this question?
Okay, apart from patience, right? I already told blending into this current generation is one thing. Apart from that, what I also learned is like setting your targets right, or making sure that you are informing what is that is going you're going to teach. Like let's say if you consider data science or software engineering or software testing, any platform, there is so much to learn. Okay, and the students are always interested in learning, because as you teach and if you are really delivering good, they want to learn more. But it's like a time bound thing. You can't go on giving all the details in one go, and also you have to deliver as much as that you have already committed. So it's like what I learned is like how to make sure that the commitments that you have set, right, you fix to that. You make the people or the other person like understand that this is what we have committed. Let's get this done first, and if I have time, I'm okay to do this. But it's not, I should not be, I should be in a state where I dictate the pace of completion or those things, not like the other way around. Like something comes up in the middle and I keep on adding and this gets delayed. At the end of the day, what's happening is either the student loses, and in a professional setup, the project is going to fail. So either things, it's not a good thing. So that how do you convince your people to a set of commitments? How do you deliver it? First, have that commitments ready and then go for the next. That is one additional thing that I have learned. Apart from the patience part and blending into this generation, getting my mindset aligned. Apart from all this, this is one other thing I can say that I have greatly learned after joining Shooters, because I had led a batch for full stack data science. I think there's only one batch because it's a 10 month course, and it's very difficult for people to have a 10-month course. So that is where I actually learned this, like how you have to make sure that you are very clear on what you are delivering, and make sure the other audience are also committed to that goal. Yeah.
Yes, sir, I totally agree with you. We should be we should be clear on what we are committing to, and we have to manage the things very properly, so that we can deliver we can deliver 100% and work towards it.
Yeah.
So at last, Tarun sir, like, sir, what was one thing that you have learned?
Most important thing which I took away from this writing with these students is the aspect of discipline and commitment. So this is something which I find myself lacking. This habit of staying on course and seeing things that you commit to towards the end. So Short Trust has been from the beginning very strict about their rules for the students to see it through towards the end, right? So even though it's dedicating this much amount of time being to attend the classes regularly, they strive to put in the effort even after they got lost. This aspect of this personality habit building, which the effort which they put in, is something which I'm very proud of, and I make sure to communicate the same to them as well. Like the effort which they're putting currently, it will definitely be rewarded in the future, and this is something which I personally can take from this program and this experience of mentoring or teaching this, because it's very important to have anything or any ambition that you have in life. I believe the foundation comes from habit building or discipline, or starting with fundamentals, right? Make fundamentals strong. So this is something which everyone can relate to, and it's definitely play an important role in my upcoming journey for my academic career. This is a most important aspect which I take away from.
It honestly makes me so glad to hear that all the panelists who are present over here today have taken, such great qualities from SureProed, be it discipline, be it leadership, be it patience, be it blending in with a new culture, with a new generation. And yeah, this just makes me happy because it shows a sort of diversification which SureProed provides, with the crowd coming in and people learning from each other. And there is no such thing as only a student is learning from a trainer. It's a give and take, like I said earlier as well. Everyone is in the loop, and this is what I'm glad about. And surely there were hard moments as well. Nothing comes easy in life. So I kind of want to bring this inward now. I want to ask Arnav sir that how has this journey changed you, and this experience of mentoring students, especially when you are in a new field, as you were mentioning earlier, has this experience influenced your own career?
So the first thing that the change that happened is that now first there was only a belief, but now there is concrete, conviction that education can transform lives in a manner that we observe that the change that was most profound was in a way that I saw that children who were earlier having issues with even speaking up and discussing things were confidently asking for help, that we need some guidance in order to create our profile for sending it to some other internship or some other career prospect. So that kind of openness, which was not there earlier, it began later on. So the power of transformation, of education, of mentoring people, of showing them the path and encouraging them to follow it themselves and to live it themselves and create their own journey, their destination. So that transformative power, that realization, first there was only a belief, but seeing the students transform into role models for other people, that change was very, very profound. In my career, I observed that I have become more confident, more forthright in discussing myself, opening myself, and encouraging a similar level of discussion with other people also, so that they also start to honestly discuss what they want. Then the TCS way also put me on the path of volunteering in Nagpur. We catered to rural children as well and underprivileged children as well. We hosted them, we fed them, we showed them. And in Ghaziabad also, Hope initiative of TCS also showed us how to interact with students on a basic level of degree. In Delhi also, we visited underprivileged places where people were not opening up to us in the beginning, but later up they were raising hands and asking questions. So that breaking down of barriers, that's what education does, because everyone's grandparents started somewhere where they were, oh, I am the first 10th pass in the family, or I am the first 12th pass, then first graduate, then first postgraduate. Now the differences are becoming less. In Narendra Modi's case, no one asks him too much what his qualifications are, but the transformative power of interacting, of breaking down barriers, asking questions, is what has opened up the path to become not only the leader of the greatest democracy of the world, but to show that path to others as well, that other people can also do it. Thank you.
So, like, even in volunteering, also, like, we grow and sometimes in ways we don't even expect. So, Tarun sir, I want to ask this question. So, did this volunteering experience like shift the way you see yourself at work? So, did it bring any changes in your lifestyle? Anything as such?
Yeah, definitely. Been a very rewarding experience, like giving back to the people who are honestly aspiring to build a career in this domain, in which you have personally the path which you have personally went through, and the challenges which you have seen, and whatever impact which you can make in that life, something which is very rewarding to you as a person, as a mentor. So in my career, I have these opportunities to take, or to give these webinars or SME connects to audience who all the players, like generative AI, artificial intelligence. So I do a lot of research and a lot of professional talk in this domain. So I believe that any knowledge which you have gets profound or gets solidified only by talking to or by teaching it to other people, right? So the confidence you have on the subject gets more solidified by communicating, by interacting with people who are interested in that particular topic. Right? So this platform of Short Trust has been very helpful for me in this regard to help break my in the subject in and help um, uh, give out an opportunity to do more research, to gather more knowledge, and to put it out there to people who are actually thirsty for this particular in this particular domain, right, of AI and machine learning, which is very booming in world now. So, yeah, this has been a very rewarding experience and uh, curious questions which I asked about are just curious. Let me gives me an opportunity to sit and ponder whether what is actually important, whether which topic we need to focus on, and not give in to all the noise that are coming out there. So, where are you genuinely interested? Focus on in your career. These are all elements which every one of us have gone through in our journey as a professional. Yeah, by while these young students, I definitely get a chance to revisit my college days and to see how I started or how uh, I got interested into career and professors which helped guide me and motivate me. So all of those reminiscent memories come back to me, and yeah, so it's been a very rewarding experience through this past 4 months of teaching data science.
Yes, sir. In a way, we can say that paving a path for a student, especially when you've been through the same difficulties, right? That is the best thing a teacher can do for the upcoming generation. Yeah, I strongly appreciate each one of the trainers over here who have been doing this consistently over their past few months or years for the batches. So yeah, every one of you chose to be here out of all the possible options. It somewhat suggests that there's something fundamentally different and rather effective about this model. So I would like to ask Akshara ma'am that from your lens, what makes this SurePro Ed program different or unique, and what would you say is the strength of this very initiative?
Mm, as I already mentioned, this program is more structured, and the mentorship that you gain are mostly from the industry experts or someone who has years of experience with that. So I think it's more of like even when you talk about my sessions, I take up real time examples, live campaigns that is going on at the market currently, right now, at this moment actually. So now if I tell them and if they go and read about the article, they get to know a little more about it. They can understand consumer psychology a bit more better, how businesses thrive and how businesses deal with each and every branding. So that's how I think it's more of like real world relevance. So I think that makes this program a bit different and unique.
Yes, ma'am. It's absolutely true. Like, Sure Provide makes the students ready for the industries by providing real world experiences from trainers
Exactly.
like you. Yes, ma'am. So, moving on, I think sometimes the most powerful parts of a community aren't loud, but they're just quietly felt. So, I want to ask Shanmukh Sai sir, is there something about this volunteering culture that often gets overlooked?
See, I don't say it is like overlooked, but it is. I could say that people don't know that there is volunteering going on, to be very frank. See, how I joined Shore Trust, I didn't know there was something called it was Shore Trust then, sorry. It's Shore Proed now, it was Shore Trust back then. So I didn't know that there was volunteering opportunity. I just was looking for some internships and I came across that's when I had a look at this. So one thing is like people don't get to know that there is volunteering, and other thing is they don't get to know what the impact that it creates. So if maybe I feel from my perspective, if people are aware of the impact that it is creating, it might be completely different. Like I think there will be more overview on volunteering, and people might tend to volunteer more because even I was going, and what I usually feel like people don't know where to volunteer as well, right? Because like as part of our company, right? We go to several places to volunteer. So some places we feel like most people when they think about volunteering, they think about donations, and as such, their mind is tuned to that. So if you go do something like that or teach in a place where it is very well organized, like it's they already have a batch, they already have people staying there, and you go and teach them, you might not feel that impact. But if you go to a platform where it is trying to establish itself, where it is trying to get students or like people from different backgrounds, they're trying to collate and do things instead of doing things to already people that are existing since ages. That's when people recognize how this volunteering is affecting lives. And one more thing I feel like in volunteering that people should know is like the impact that it's creating right now. Like let's say if in show trust itself, if I don't have a connect with my students, I would not know what their career journey is or where they are right now. So I would not feel this volunteering such rewarding. But if I know what so and so student or so and so person is doing in life right now, and if I know that he is settled and he's at a good position, that's quite kind of very rewarding, right? So that's one thing I feel like in volunteering that is often overlooked or often that is missing is what I feel. Like that is one of the reasons, even though we have a huge volunteer base right now, I feel that this volunteer base could even be more if people have that insights or that ideology in them, and that showcasing of what volunteering does not only to the people you are impacting but to yourself as well. Like see, now here four of us are sharing that it impacted our lives to some positive effect, right? So that is something that people don't actually look into. The first thing is they don't know about volunteering. Second thing is they don't know the impact it is creating. And third and the major thing is they don't recognize that it will impact you as well. Not at only your professional level, but at spiritual level as well. It gives a kind of satisfaction that you have done something that is impacting and you have learned something in the process. So this is what I feel that can be made, can we can share our experiences and maybe create volunteer base more volunteer.
Yes, sir, I completely agree with you. I feel like awareness can give birth to a lot of initiatives and spread, basically make people aware about what's going on and increase the volunteer base as you were talking about. Right.
Yes.
All right. Now moving ahead from the questions part, I would like to introduce this section we have for you guys. It is a rapid fire section, and first instinct, first word which comes to your mind, or the first answer come to your mind, you can tell it out. So the first question is for Tarun sir. One word you would think of when someone asks you what your mentoring style is.
Currently.
Okay, sir.
Because I personally feel a bit more connected with the students. I had some colleagues in college who guide me to teach me, and I personally learned a lot from those brilliant friends more than professors who used to have that. There's a gap between our colleagues, right? So whenever we have that personal connect with whoever we are getting the information from, like that personal connect will be a greater advantage to reduce the distance between what we're trying to learn and we will get there, right? So I believe that friendly approach is very much helpful in that regard.
Total. So now to your Akshara ma'am. Like, what's a moment of chaos or fun that makes you laugh now during your sessions?
It's not basically about the session. So I think the first day session, it was scheduled at 8:30 p.m. and our office annual sports day was about to be in a week or so. So all of a sudden, my house, like it is very similar to your school setting. So you'll be divided into 4 different houses and you'll compete with each other team. So I think around 8 p.m. and I'm about to leave office, they said like today we are going to practice badminton. That was the notice I got. I was so confused because I want to be a part of the practice. At the same time, I cannot say no in the last moment because it was already scheduled to 8:30 p.m. and that was the very first session. So I went, I went to the badminton court. I sat in the like one corner with my mobile phone. I joined the call. I was attending the sessions. Everyone were looking at me, thinking that I'm so crazy, that I'm more into work. But in real, I was volunteering. And then when they came back and asked me like what I was doing, I was trying to explain that this is a volunteering thing. Shanmuga said, like most of the people are literally unaware of how volunteering looks like. They thought this is something that I'm doing for monetary purpose. They couldn't relate to it because again their perspective is very limited, thinking that okay, volunteering is only limited to donations, but it's not that. Like we can also contribute something like this. So that was fun if I see in the other way. But yes, chaos and very undisciplinary act that I could ever do. So I really regret for doing that, but still, that is one thing I did. I really regret. I shouldn't have done that.
But as a sports person myself, as an athletic person, I completely relate with your mom with the
Yes.
sessions and the way I like to play football.
Yes.
Moving on to Shanmukh sir, what's one myth about teaching or mentoring you'd bust?
One myth about teaching is like the teacher need not know everything. Like you don't expect the person teaching to know everything. Even he is learning in this course. Okay, like be your from schooling or till your professional career till the end of your life, we are also learning. Like it's not just a classroom, but also to your personal life as well. Even your parents or you as a person, when talking to someone, when you're explaining them or doing something, you're learning from them and they're learning from you. It's a two-way bridge. It's never one way. Like the teacher or the person teaching need not know everything.
Yes, sir. Learning is a continuous process and every one of us learns from one another. So, now to Arnav, sir. So, if this Shore Provide journey would have a title, what would it be?
Are you asking me a title? What
Yes, sir.
for Shore Provide?
Yes, sir. This
Okay.
whole journey.
Sense of gratitude.
Yes, sir. I completely agree with you because SureProvide has given all of us a platform, and extending gratitude is one of the least things we could do. And yeah, now moving on to Tavan sir again. What's the one message you'd leave for your past self before starting this journey? Something to your younger self.
One of the I would just say just show up, and even if you're not able to complete or if you're not able to succeed in the manner which you hope for, just show up regularly and put yourself out there. Break out the of that comfort zone. I know it's like a cliche advice, but it's very much relatable to me when I look at my younger self. I always have that hesitance to come out of my introverted bubble, like go out there and be there every day consistently. So I would just start some programs, to start some new habits out of a certain spur of motivation or inspiration by watching something or by watching a movie. Consistently showing up to the practice, getting that, uh, converting that motivation to a habit and to a consistent personality trait. That is something which I would say is a fundamental aspect for building success in your life. So just come at it regularly and start building the habits one step at a time. So that's one piece of advice which I would give my younger self.
Wow, so now we're coming to the end of this, and to each of you, heartfelt thank you. You gave and you expected nothing in return, and that's what makes your impact unforgettable. And I really appreciate all of you for everything you've done for the students, and I hope this continues.
Yeah, I also hope that I see Sure Provide, like as I said, when I started, it was like few people who were volunteering, and now I see the volunteer base is very high, and the experience of people volunteering is also very varied. Right from I saw people with 2 to 3 years volunteering for this, and now I see people with 20 years also volunteering. So I see different backgrounds. There were only few courses when I started, but now I see the number of courses also increased. Hope that this continues, SureProed grows, and we keep supporting people, students who are really interested in that, and maybe one day we would be at a place where we are able to help them help in their recruitment as well. I know that we are helping right now, but like on a big scale, like our students reach a level where we can have mass recruitments as such. That would be great, but it might take some time. Let's see how it unfolds. Let's hope for the best.
Yes, sir. Let's hope for the very best for the Sure Provide. And I think all of you, each one of you here, you thought, and but more than that, you believed in them and you believed in the mission of Sure Provide. And I think you showed up very consistently again and again, even when things go sideways. You are shaping every student's future and uplifting their lives. So, to every volunteer who is present here and who is not present here, you gave your heart and your belief. Very thank you for that. You are the very soul of Sure Provide.
And I would just like to say that thank you for joining us for this special episode. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to SureProEd's YouTube channel. And as we always say at SureProEd, learn, lead, lift others. Thank you.
Thank you.